recording.
Hi everyone, I'm Phoebe. I'm also one of the hosts, but so sorry I couldn't be able to join you guys because of time difference as well. I was traveling for the past few days. I just came back from Switzerland to China. So yeah, glad to see everyone.
Yeah, so today we will be doing a short what was that word that I'm looking for?
Snapshot, a snapshot of the
Yeah,
situation. I mean, I would say the state of the play. What are the challenges we are facing today? Do you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so we will be talking about the challenges that we're facing in child protection. So this is not really a specific session on human trafficking, but in child protection and sexual abuse in children in general, right, Homera? So yeah. So let's give a second for everyone to turn their cameras on. And so just to get everyone in the mood, please choose one emoji that kind of represents how you feel right now, and then put it in the reactions. Okay, we have a classic thumbs up. Chloe's got a heart going on. Okay, nice. Okay, so at least we know that even if Kat and Bill's like all the celebration stuff. Okay, so I'm just really glad that everyone's ready and excited, and let's get Homera started.
Okay, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. I don't know, depending on where you are. I'm happy to talk to you today about the challenges we face today in child protection, because the world evolves and things change, and the challenges we have also change with them. One of the major issues today for children and their protection, even in child trafficking, is internet, is the fact that, okay, I have some figures, I'm going to read them for you, but then Phoebe and Ada will have the text, and I would absolutely invite you, for those of you who are interested in the topic, to research by yourselves, to find out situations. We won't have time to go over study cases tonight with challenges we have on social media and on internet, but you can search by yourself. And then if we continued our sessions later in time, not tonight, obviously, but I mean in time, in coming weeks, whatever subject you are very interested in, Phoebe and Ada will share with me, and I'm more than happy to schedule other sessions with you guys in September, October. It doesn't have to be every day, it doesn't have to be every week, it can be once a month. We can go over, so on. So now the state of play and the challenges we face today at a global level, it is estimated that 1 in 3 girls are sexually abused before the age of 18, and 1 in 5 boys are sexually abused before the age of 18. It is also estimated that 1 child in 3 is an internet user, and that 1 in 3 internet user is a child under 18. Studies also indicate that about 1/3 of people who are abused in childhood will become abusers themselves. Why it is important to tell you all these things tonight, because this is the state of the play today. We have to understand that the number of children who are sexually assaulted before they reach the age of 18 is absolutely huge. And there are boys, there are girls, but also that unfortunately, if those survivors are not helped, if there is not a caring hand to help them heal a little bit as it is possible, to help them understand that you don't remain victim all your life, that there are therapies and so on, they will become predators themselves. And the ratio is 30 to 40% they're all indicated on internet. These are not studies done by Innocence in Danger, but there are studies which are done by major organizations. And again, check for yourself. Amongst the major challenges we face are child protection on the internet and social media, mental health disorders, HIV in kids, and sexualization of children and its risks. I will develop a little bit each one. Child protection on the internet and social media, what is at risk, what children come upon is cyberbullying, which is, I guess, you all are familiar with cyberbullying, unfortunately, invasion of privacy, identity theft, your child or a child seeing offensive images and messages, and emotional abuse, the presence of strangers who may be there to groom other members, sexting, sexual abuse, and sexual exploitation. I don't know if you are familiar with these terms, but this is what is happening on internet. And I want to tell you, I want to give you an example of a case I treated many, many years ago at the very beginning of Innocence in Danger. It was in London, and I was invited to go to a court case which was being examined by MPs and members of the government. Back then, we knew much less about child abuse and internet than we do today. This was the story of a little girl who was 11 years old. She lived with parents who had already told her not to give her identity out, not to give her address, not to give information about the privacy of their life, where the house is, what is her parents, what is her parents do, what are they doing, and so on. So in a chat room, she happened to discuss with somebody whom she thought was also a little girl of 11 years old. Now, just bear in mind that we discover later that this person was a man who was 50-something years old and who was acting as if it was a she and was the same age of as this little girl. So they talk for weeks. He is trying to have some information about the girl and to know what she looks like, where she lives, and so. But the girl is educated, so she's not really doing that. Until one day, when he realizes that he will not know much about her, he says he acts. When I say he, just imagine it's a little, the real little girl thinks that she is talking to another little girl of her age. So one day, he says, the fake one, do you like sports? The real one answers, yes. What sport do you like? I love, wait, what is the name? When you throw the ball, basketball. And then the fake one says, do you play in a team? Do you play somewhere? She says, yes, I play quite often basketball. I'm in a team. And then this one says, oh my God, do you have a competition coming up? She says, yes, actually at this date we have a competition. And this is where she fails to protect herself. And she shares the name of the field where they were going to play basketball. We are in the outskirts of London. So this little girl says, oh, wow, if I'm around, I will try to come and see you and encourage you, but I don't know which one you are. Do you mind if we send pictures to each other? The real little girl says no. She sends a real picture of herself. The fake one sends a picture which is not, obviously is a fake picture, and they continue talking and so on. The day of the competition is there. She plays. When the game is over and she's coming out of this stadium, this place, there is a man there who comes to her and says, "You are Katie, right?" And she says, "Yes. Who are you?" He says, "I am the uncle of Leslie, with whom you have been chatting all this time. She is now in the car waiting for you, but she watched all the games, she watched the match, and she would so much love to see you and tell you exactly what she thinks and so on. Just 1 minute, come with me to the car, and then you go home." So Katie, the real little girl, goes to the car. There is, of course, no Leslie in the car. And the man throws her in the car and takes her away. And this is how she went missing for 3 weeks. And she was found thanks to herself, because she ran away at the moment where they had gone shopping. He wanted to shop clothing for her, and she was brave. She got lucky, whatever. And then she was testifying at in the House of Lords in London the day I met her. So all I want to say is that this is the example of a little girl whose parents have taken the needed measures to tell her not to share anything, but children are basically honest. The children don't learn. It's very difficult to teach children at the same time not to lie, and then to tell them to lie. So it's a very difficult posture for parents, because when they talk with somebody, when children play or talk with somebody on social networks, they believe they know each other. Social networks, we know this, and studies show that they break time somehow. If a child predator before internet wanted to prey on a child, he would have to go to a park, sit down on a bench, wait for the kids to come after school to play, and then he would have to, with open face, go to a child and propose gifts or candies for a number of days before being able to approach her really, or take her anywhere, or build trust. But today, social networks have broken all these walls, if I can say, and things can happen in a couple of days. And the child thinks he or she knows the person. And there are also some investigators with whom we have worked previously, and we still work with some of them, where they actually pose on internet, they pose on social media, and they lie. They say that they are kids. And then when a predator approaches them and asks them to see them, they know what to do. And they, in a way, they make a kind of trap to, or they organize a trap to arrest the person. And they have already all what is called judicial evidence, because they know that the person has certified that he knew that this was a little girl. It's very interesting. If you wanted to study cases in this matter, let me know later, or look on internet. It's very interesting how some organizations have succeeded to bust predators online. Then what also we need to know is that a child who is exposed to material which are not for his or her age believes, unfortunately, that sexual relationship is violent. They don't know what is rape, what is love, what is, there is a big mix of all these principles, and they grow to become often violent when they have a relationship with a girl, when they are young adults, and this has been also subject of, unfortunately, a number of studies which show that it is a very serious problem. And then I said something at the beginning to Ada, because unfortunately the session on child trafficking, we had to move it. We will talk about the red flags, but the session itself we had to move it. But I can tell you now that you can find a lot of information on internet about child trafficking, and I would absolutely invite those of you who want to. I have already sent some case studies to Ada, but if you want to go further and if you have time, I think it's on Netflix. You should go to Netflix and watch, it's called I Am Jane Doe. Jane Doe, D-O-E, I Am Jane Doe. I don't know if you are familiar with Jane Doe as a title. Thank you, Phoebe. Jane Doe is a name that survivors of sexual abuse take when they have to protect their identities. So, for example, in the case that I'm inviting you to watch, there is Jane Doe 1, Jane Doe 2, Jane Doe 3, and this is absolutely a true story which happens in the United States when girls have been trafficked through internet. They unfortunately became member of something on internet where they thought they're going to have fun, they're going to find friends, and then it led them to become victims of a very, very violent and evil network of child abusers. So you can absolutely, I really invite you to watch this. And then if you wanted to have more cases, but I think with one film you will know what you need to know. If you wanted to know more, let me know. I have tons of them, unfortunately. What is also interesting to know is that there are some major organizations which are government funded. One of them is Internet Watch Foundation, and the abbreviation is IWF. The IWF, it's a very, very global coalition. We are part, Innocence in Danger is part of it. This is why I have access to some of their work. There is another coalition which is called the Coalition for Ending Sexual Exploitation of Minors. We're also a member of that one. So the figures that they have reported, I mean IWF, in the reports that they published in 2021, they said that since the internet exists, 2021 was the worst year on as hit records of online child sexual abuse. So this means that the number of people who are disseminating and distributing and preying on children is unfortunately rising, unfortunately. And the other very, very heartbreaking news for all of us was that they also found that the children that were targeted on a large scale, for example, during lockdowns and or afterwards, they have the imagery of children as young as 7 to 10 has tripled, which is, I mean, I don't know if you can imagine the scale of the phenomenon when you know that one child in 3 is an internet user, and one internet user in 3 is minus 18 years old. So this means this is a, you know, COVID was called a pandemic, but this is a bigger pandemic. And it goes back to what I read for you last time about Imagine a Disease, because these children are damaged mentally. And this is why we will talk about mental health, I think during one of our sessions. And this is also one of the reasons why the figures revealed by WHO about mental health says that 1 person in 3 globally has a one way or another of a mental health problem. Now, mental health problem can be, I will not go deep inside tonight because we will address it another night, another evening, another session. But mental health problem can be very dangerous and very disturbing for the person himself or herself, all the family, all the surroundings, but also it can become a problem of security, simply because amongst mental health issues, there is the fact that some survivors, thanks God, not all of them, some survivors have a personality break and they have alters. For example, I remember I was working, no, maybe I will go deeper in this another session because it's a wonderful story and I would like to not take your time tonight with that because I think we're addressing that another night. So what we know today is that as consequence, children who have been victimized and experience grooming are likely to suffer from serious long-time mental health issues like anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress, and suicidal thoughts. If you look for cases of kids who committed suicide after being groomed on internet, when I say kids, I mean adolescents even, 17, 18 years old, after being groomed on internet, after being bullied on internet, there are some really heartbreaking stories that the parents have shared with the world. It shows how at those ages we do not have, but even later, you just leave the social network, you just don't go there anymore, you just don't use it anymore. But when children are that young, they want to be in social networks because their world is there, because their friends are there, and there is a kind of, unfortunately, a kind of addiction. And that makes it difficult for them to step back and not use it anymore. And then it can, if something terrible is happening online with the child, it can lead to suicide, drug abuse, and all these things. Just for those of you who do not know what is online grooming is when someone uses technology or the internet to build a relationship with a young person with the intention of tricking, pressuring, or forcing them into doing some sexual activities, sending images or videos of themselves. We have also had cases of adolescents who did not pay attention when they were having fun with friends, and everybody had a camera, cell phone, filming, and then when they are in a serious relationship or when they find a job and there is an interview, and you know that today when somebody wants to hire somebody, they look a lot to see if on internet there is any negative element about the person. And I have had cases of young girls, young boys who came to me and said, there is this film, during the film I was drunk, I don't remember what I did, but the images are, and now I'm either in a serious relationship, I don't want these images to be on internet anymore, or I'm being tested for a job later on, somebody came to me. But the problem is once it is on internet, you cannot remove it. It's like, nobody has that. Maybe Google, the CEO of Google can do it for you, but they had come to us to help them remove the images, but we do not have this power. So unfortunately, that could not happen. Then also there is a I would like to talk to you to some tactics that predators use online to groom somebody, to prepare him or her to accept sending pictures, taking videos, meet with them. And one should never, never, never meet with anybody who is not a physical friend whom you know. But amongst those tips that one should know about, is falsely identifying themselves online as a peer, like a child from another school, connected through sport, a friend of a friend, or known to the child in some way. Flattery, compliments, etc., promises of gift, money, tablets, drugs, alcohol, pitting the parents against the child. For example, your parents are too strict, your parents don't understand you, but I do. Exchange of sexual pictures to make victims more comfortable in sending sexual pictures and videos in return. Take pictures with or without the child's knowledge while they are live streaming. And this is often followed by the use of extortion to control the child and threaten him or her to share the material unless the child produces additional images. We have had all these cases. There is a threat: if you don't do what I'm telling you, if you don't send me more pictures, if you don't send me videos of yourself, we will share this on the internet. And you know that today with IE and with deep fake and all these things, you can have images of somebody even in positions or in an activity he or she has never had. Over the past 5 years, there is a website which I believe you would like to note, because you may want to communicate and let other people who are not here tonight know. It's called cybertip.ca. It's in Canada. Cybertip, to give a tip, cybertip in one word, .ca. They say that they have received reports with an increase of 815%, which is huge. Increase of reports that a youngster has been lured into a situation, and there was a dramatic situation, so it was reported to cybertip.ca. We have to know also that grooming of children does not only happen online. Grooming is also a tactic used by individuals who have existing relationships with their children and with their families. The individual builds trust and comfort with a child and the safe adults around them to eventually sexually abuse the child. What does this mean? For example, he becomes very good friends. He is very good friends with the parents of the child, and he's abusing the child in the house. He says, we're going to play in Sally's room. They go in the room. The parents are next door, but they trust the man. And this happens. If you had I don't know if this movie, which is on a real case that I dealt with, I don't know if this movie is subtitled in English, and I don't know if you speak French, but there is a movie which won few awards, and it's 100% on a true case, real case. I know the victim today. She's a young mother. It is called Les Chatouilles. Les Chatouilles is French. Les Chatouilles means gillies, because this friend of the family was, when he was doing awful things to this child, was telling her that he's doing gillies to her. And the film is amazing, and it shows how it happened under the roof where the parents were in the house, but they didn't realize, because they trusted the guy. The little girl didn't dare say anything because she was threatened. If you say something, I will kill your, I mean, you know, threats that which work. So this is something we need to know. This manipulative process establishes a legitimate purpose for their contact with the child and increases the likelihood that their involvement with the child is welcome, even encouraged. For example, she is, oh, I think she's weak in mathematics, or I think she needs a piano lesson, or you don't want to go with her to the tennis match, tennis competition, I'll take her. This, or you cannot drive her to school, I will do it, you can count on me. These kind of situations. It also leaves children feeling responsible for what has happened and silences them and creates blind spots. Yeah, yes, Ada, absolutely. And creates blind spots in the adults around the child, so it is difficult for them to understand how this could happen. Organizations and institutions that offer privileged access to children are very vulnerable to individuals misusing their position to sexually harm or abuse children. This can happen in the world of sports. There are many cases all around the world. This can happen in, how do you call this? Skating on ice. We have some huge cases of skating on ice for children. We have some huge cases of kids who are in ski competition groups. We have this in music, piano, violin, whatever. We had a very big case in France. It was a coach who was teaching the kids for swimming, a swimming coach, and he had raped all of them, all the kids. So this is something that we should know. All the areas, all the spaces where adults are in contact with minors can be, there are also honest people, there are also good people, normal people, but can become a space for predators who will fight to get a job because they are sure that they can access kids. So this is something to be aware of. And if you wanted to know more about sexual abuse in sports, there is also a website I would invite you to check out. It is called committokids.ca. It's again Canadian, commit, COMMIT, to the number 2 kids with an S.ca. There is a lot of good things in Canada, actually. That doesn't mean, yeah, thank you. That doesn't mean that Canada doesn't have a very huge problem of sexual abuse of minors, because they do. But they also, there are wonderful organizations in Canada. Now, what I wanted to tell you also is that I think I said it at the very beginning, what is also becoming obvious today, unfortunately, is the number of children who contract HIV. Why? Because of the situations of rape. Why? Because the predators who go for this kind of activities, they do not protect themselves. They think that, you know, a child cannot be dangerous for them, but they don't think that they can be dangerous for the child. So the ratio of sexual abuse, of HIV in children has gone up, and there is, through all the studies I have come upon, there is a relation between these two phenomena. UNICEF said in 2020, a child was infected with HIV every 2 minutes in 2020. This is a figure from UNICEF. child physical and sexual abuse can increase the risk of HIV acquisition, and prevention of child abuse must be part of the HIV prevention agenda. I am telling you this because I believe that each one of you will be an ambassador, for later. And if you have any way to tell those who have a power to, I don't know, if journalists, politicians, these are the topics we need to not force, but if we are a big number, we can also force that. Our governments, our countries to have better legislations to protect children because of HIV, because of the number of damaged childhood and victims. What we also need to know is that the disclosures of child sexual abuse are often very, somebody, a child or an adolescent who has been a victim doesn't disclose it easily. So one of the other factors we have to deal with is the lack of disclosure of child sexual abuse, of course, contributes to uncompleted figures, because we say absolutely in every country, what we know is the tip of the iceberg. We often are very shocked to know the problem of child abuse and how deep it goes in the society. Another problem that is for us a problem, for us child advocates, is the sexualization of children. I don't know if you have noticed, but I would invite you to have a look to the campaign of Balenciaga. I think it was, I want to find the name. We Innocence in Danger was very loud about it, and they had to stop the campaign, not only because of us. We were not the only NGOs who campaign. Balenciaga does that. Also, Calvin Klein. Calvin Klein is one of the first fashion designers who exposed children in positions which should be forbidden. And now he cannot, I mean, now it is not that easy. Voilà, campaign Balenciaga. Oh yeah, okay. Okay, if you, you know what, I just found it on internet, but if you could.
Was it the one in 2022? Or was it like an older one?
No, it's not the older one. It is 2020. Who is talking here? It's
Ada. Yeah.
Yeah, Ada. No, it's, I believe you are right. You are right. It was the one from, yeah. And it was a scandal. If you can read the article of magazine, which is called The Cut, THECUT.com. Yeah.
I found it. I'll pop the link inside the chat for everyone.
Okay. You can also check later the campaigns of, as I said, Calvin Klein, and also, all the, as much as I love Dolce Gabbana, and I think many of you do, Dolce Gabbana had campaigns for a lipstick or for a perfume where there are 5 men standing over a girl who is lying on the floor. I mean, it's a rape scene. They cannot do it anymore, but they did it before COVID. The last one was before COVID. And I remember I was very shocked, and I was amused to see that they were publicizing a lipstick. Why do you need to put a woman on the floor with almost no dress on her, and have 4 or 5 men who look really mean and who look dangerous standing over her body. So the sexualization of children and of our societies is also a problem, because the more children are exposed to this kind of situations and this kind of material, the more children and adolescents, the more it banalizes the situation, and the more one may think, oh, it's nothing, because it's everywhere. So you just get used to it, and everybody gets used to it. Boys think this is the way we treat women. Women think that this is the way all women are treated, and children, it's even worse, and it's even more, it's even faster. So these are the moments, these are situations where we can all, if you want to do something in this field, these are the moments where we should take a stand and refuse what is not acceptable, because scenes that are a scene in the which a woman is, you think if this was life, she would be raped before, after, or killed, or what. It's like a how do you call this, when people like to hurt and be hurt? I don't know what it is called, but it's a mental disease, but there are people like that. So yeah, I mean, I think I will let you look for this further yourselves, because I mean, I'm a little bit concerned that you are all so young, that and the work I do is so crude, is so face to face with the most evil part of humankind and of humanity. But this is my work. This is what I'm face to face with since 25 years ago on a daily basis, without saying that anything has become a norm to me. No, I'm still shocked with every case of sexual abuse of kids, but I do not have maybe always the words to wrap up what I want to say and make it nicer and smoother. Forgive me. I don't wish to shock you. And this is why for many of these topics, I would like to invite you to look, depending on how far you want to go. And I also invite you to stop when it is too violent, when it is too difficult to digest, because it is better if you learn step by step, gradually, than having all this in the face all of a sudden at your age, because I understood that you are not yet all 18 years old, or maybe none of you is actually. Now, also, what we have to know, what we have to understand is that because of the because social networks have not done enough, and they are earning money, they don't really care. You know, we are boxing with them since 25 years ago. Boxing is a way of talking. I mean, we are going back and forth. They have not done much, and they do not do much, because they somehow earn a lot of money on the back of children and their security, and on the back of mental health of families and the society as a whole. So internet is saturated with sexual content, and we know that 1 in 10 children have watched pornography by the time they are 9 years old. So just imagine what is the take of a child of 9 years old of this kind of material. absolutely damages all what a parent would like to teach to his child, because you don't want your child to think sex is violent. You don't want to think, you don't want your child to think that in sex people don't respect each other. You know, so all these areas are very dangerous. Harmful effects of exposure to violent pornography, as an example, we know that nearly half of the 16 to 21 years old kids who took part in a survey assumed girls either expect or enjoy sex which involves physical aggression. We know it's not true, but that is the that's the result of the survey, such as and the normalization of sexual violence online and the role it plays in shaping children's understanding of sex and relationships, where rape and sexual assault is mistaken for having sex, making love, etc. And this is why I wanted to talk to you about this topic tonight, because the state of the play, you see, the internet and its use and social networks have brought to our societies, not only for young people, even for us, even for my generation, a whole series of new criminality, which was unknown to us until 20 years ago, and which is almost present in everything we do today. And because they are, they are more united and more funded than we would ever be, they always have some advance on organizations like us. There is another wonderful organization that I would like to invite you to check out. It is also in Canada, and this is an organization that I would really recommend. It is called, I think, protectchildren.ca. Wait, I will make sure that it's a very, 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 protectchildren.ca. It is, thank you. It is an organization which is, I think it's based in the outskirts of Montreal, or doesn't matter, or Toronto, I don't remember. I have met with those who funded it and founded it. I met with them a couple of years ago because they had come to France. They had a meeting with Interpol to share with them their latest fundings, and they had they are at the origin of an investigation tool, which is one of the best in the world today, which is called Arachnid. Arachnid is the name of a spider that kills, but that in real life. But they have named a software, a tool, investigation tool, Arachnid, and some countries are using it. Canada is using it, US is using it, Germany is using it, UK is using it, and I think some other countries I am not aware of, but they have a wonderful website with facts and figures. So there is Internet Watch Foundation that I would invite you to check out, and Coalition to End Sexual Exploitation of Children is another one, and then protectchildren.ca. It's a Canadian, amazing, and they do an amazing work. Now, regarding, I will send Ada and Phoebe, the text of what I have I've been telling you today, because I want you to be also aware about, all what is a danger today to us. Maybe you have younger sisters, brothers, cousins, nephews. Because, for example, we know that social media has become a prime hunting ground for sex offenders. And for example, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Snapshot, all these places. And I have also gathered a number of very interesting articles that I will send to Ada, and to why I like articles, because they have been written in a way where you can read them without being offended, while the way I would talk about them may be a little bit harsh for you. I don't know. Actually, I would appreciate if Ada and Phoebe will give me a feedback, because I don't know any of you except Phoebe and Ada. Of course, we have met online, but I don't know your exact ages, and I feel very, I'm very concerned to know how old you are, and how difficult is it for you, difficult or challenging or not digestible, as simple as that, what I am sharing with you, because I don't want to shock you. I don't want to, I want to open your eyes. I want to hope that each one of you will be an ambassador for the cause of innocence in danger and for children, but I don't want this to go any further than that. And if this is happening, I really would appreciate to know. So Ada and Phoebe, this is on you. Please get back to me on that. And I will definitely send you all these things and the articles, and I would invite you to read them yourself, because they are very well written. They are from major titles like The Guardian, the Economist, and they are, yeah, I think you can read them. The words are used in a way to not shock the public, even if they are adolescents like yourselves. Now, do you have any questions?
Well, I guess my first question is, how do you think, because you know how internet is kind of like it's like a double-ended thing. It could be good, it could be bad. So how do you think we could kind of just start with ourselves by utilizing internet as like a good tool, and also be watching out for the different, for example, dangers that might be happening to our other people around us, and like how can we kind of just let them know about this issue and spread awareness with internet as well?
Ada, I think what you could do, first of all, you yourselves, after what we spoke about, after what you may read afterwards, and maybe even watch some of the movies, you will be more careful for your own selves, because I'm sure you all have social network accounts, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and so on, and they are fun. I totally understand, but you will have a kind of awareness that will be useful. Hopefully nothing will ever happen, but it will be useful, especially also if you have sisters, brothers. But what you could do, as you all are still studying, I mean, and one or two of you have NGOs for children, I would create tips for children with a wording that they can understand depending on their ages. And I would raise awareness like this. You can do it amongst your those who are your age already at school. You can have a talk about this. You can, for example, what you could do, I mean, I don't know exactly where you study, all of you, but for example, one thing that I did at the very beginning when I started Innocence in Danger and I wanted to learn. We had movie sessions and debates afterwards. It is absolutely great because in 3 hours time, you see a movie about an important topic, and then you can discuss with people who know, even if they don't know that case, they know cases like that. So experts on the ground who can sensitize, inform, and educate. Educating your pals, educating your sisters, brothers, a family, it starts with that. This is one thing you can absolutely do.
Thank you so much for your answer.
You're welcome. Anything else?
Kat has a question. Yep, go ahead, Kat.
So I really liked what you added in with predators also coming into families kind of physically and getting to know the parents and infiltrating trust through those kinds of personal relationships, because that is kind of somewhere where with the internet, there's you don't have that same interaction.
Yes, yes.
But I did want to ask, what are some other things that you can also incorporate with talking to parents? Because there's been some situations that I've had to deal with where there was very clear signs of things, and a parent is even describing those symptoms, but they don't even recognize the problem with.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally am, because parents don't learn to read the discomfort of their children. It is not, even though they love them and so on. But you know, Chloe, for example, I would invite all of you to ask your parents to watch with you all together the movie that I sent you, The Tale. Remember? It's a movie with Laura Hearn. Why? Because the Tale is a story of a girl who loves horse riding, and she has a horse. The parents go to a stable where there are stallions, and they want their daughter and their other kids like her to learn how to sit, to do it better, how to sit on a horse, how to have a style, and so on. And the people who are handling this stable are, one of them is a man. He is married. I mean, he says that he's married, he has children, and he looks very, very reliable. And the other one is a gorgeous woman who is also married, has children, and so on. But this is a totally true story. I have met the victim, and so it's a true story. But then years later, the victim's mother bumps into her diary and realizes what has happened to her daughter back then, and how parents didn't see the red flags, didn't take seriously when the child would say, I don't want to go there anymore. You don't want to go because you don't want to, you are too lazy, or because you partied too late. This is also what happens in the other movie I told you, Les Chatouilles, because he is a friend of the family. For example, he used to come to the house when they had a pool. The family had a house with a pool. They used to play in the pool. And then when the little girl would go inside to change or dry herself, and there were other friends around the pool, the parents are busy, he goes in the room and he rapes the child. And then when she tells her mom, please don't leave me alone with him anymore, the mother says, my God, you are really not nice. He is so kind to you. He brought you a gift. He is da 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 da. So I really think that the best way for parents and for family members to identify these situations, or just to be aware of it, is to talking about it may be too brutal. They may reject the subject. They may refuse to talk about this, they may say, but why do you want to talk about this? And everybody feels uncomfortable. But you can say, mom, dad, or whoever, that brothers, sisters, cousin, I would like us to watch this movie tonight, because you can also say, because I know that I can meet and discuss with the real people in this movie, upon whose lives this movie has been made. And just to give them whatever is comfortable for you to say. But I don't think a parent or a family member would easily accept, for example, to read a report about these topics, or another way of learning about it. This is why from day one, I very much believe in this, in the force, in the strength of a movie, because a movie takes you somewhere. You are in that ambiance, in that space for an hour and a half, and you can, in a very easy way, discover the underlying situations that eyes may not see, or eyes may refuse to see. So I would really suggest you should, whoever is concerned with, is preoccupied about this, you should watch The Tale and Le Chateau if it's in English. If not, The Tale is fine. The Tale is a great movie. It was awarded I don't know how many times, and I took it with me to New York, to Geneva, to Paris, to Gstaad. Phoebe knows Gstaad. I took it to a few, because I work in a film. I am a jury in a film festival also. So I took it to every film festival I could, because I thought that mother in the movie could be any of us. I'm a mother. It could have been me. It could have been me before, like 25 years ago, when my kids were actually young and when they needed the most protection, because you just don't see it. You don't think, also because those people at the head of this stable, they looked great. They were parents themselves. In real life, this is absolutely true. So as a mother, when you give your daughter there, you think, they have kids, they are a family, it will be fine. What they didn't know is that the kids and the family were all made up. It was nothing serious, it was nothing true. And that the beautiful lady was somehow grooming the girls who were coming to the stable and would put them in the bed of the guy. So, I mean, it was you will see, this is a must-watch movie, because first of all, 100% of what is said in the movie is true. As I said, I met the real victim and I took her with me to United Nations, and she's very, very brave. Who can see? Okay. So yeah, I hope I have answered your question. I think this is the easiest way, really.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Do you have other questions?
I have a question real quick.
Okay.
So as a parent, because you said you're a parent yourself, what would you suggest other parents? Because like they might be not aware of those stuff. As you mentioned, they might not trust their kids and stuff. Like, what would you say to them, like for them to be aware of this?
Well, I would share with them the fact that you have learned. I mean, the articles I'm going to send you, you can have your parents read them, because they are public knowledge. You see, it is very difficult. You have not yet been parents. When you are a parent, you think you know everything. You think you have it all. You think you don't make mistakes. You think a child can play games. Yes, a child can play games, but the game can be a cover for something more serious. And if you are not aware of what can happen in the life of a child at school, at a friend's house, the piano lesson, the tennis coach, anywhere, then you don't even look there. It can take years before a parent realizes what he or she has missed as information, and they have absolutely unwillingly made it possible for their children to be preyed on. I can tell you, it's devastating for the parent when the parent finds out 7, 8, 3, 4 years later that during all those days when the child was crying and saying, please don't send me to, I don't want to play piano anymore. I don't want to play tennis anymore. I don't want to go swimming. All these things. I don't like your friend. Parents have tendency not to believe, not to listen, or to think that the child is playing a game. Sometimes the child is playing a game, the child or the adolescent. Sometimes she is not. So all I want to say is that it's difficult to go to a parent and say, you know what, you don't know everything. I'm going to teach you. It will not work. I mean, it takes a very, very open-minded and humble parent I can tell you, when I started Innocence in Danger, this was 25 years ago, my kids were, one of them, I have a son, I adopted a son. He was older, he was 12, but the two others were 8 and 6.5 years old. Even the one who was 14 years old, if he would come to me, 14, 15, if he would come to me and say, Mom, I want you to know that you don't know this or that, and you cannot talk like this with a parent, but you can, honestly, you can read an article, you can tell mom, you can say, Mom, I have come upon this article, did you know this? Are you aware of this? I want to be able to talk about this with you guys, and I want to be able to be alert myself to see the red sign, the red flags, if something like this happen around us. I want us to be a family who is sharing this awareness together. And then read the articles, watch the films. Movies are really, really a good moment, believe me, because they are movies, they are, they're Hollywood movies, they are beautifully done, there are actors. It makes the conversation around the topic easier. It brings it out from this darkness of talking about the topic separately from the rest. From in a movie, you go to the cinema, like for example, when what was this movie amazing, which with Joachim something, not the clown, I forgot the name. There was an amazing movie with Joachim Koch, no, Joachim something. Wait. I will try to find Joachim actor. Joachim Raphael Button, called Joaquin Phoenix, who is a wonderful actor. And let me see if I can find a filmography. Hold on. Joker. If you haven't seen the movie, it's a while. I mean, I'm not telling you to watch it, but your parents can watch it. The reason why I'm saying this is that in the movie, don't watch it yourselves, because I think you are not yet 18 years old. So don't watch it yourselves. But the interesting thing in this movie is about a boy who is now an adult. And during his childhood, his mother didn't see that he was being abused by somebody. So he grew up and developed alters. This is what I said at the beginning of our conversation. And amongst these alters, one was violent, one was cruel, one was kind. So, I mean, these movies have not been made upon nothing. If these movies are where they are, it is because it has been the life, and still is, unfortunately, the life of many people around the globe. And I think it's great to have them, because it is a way to open a conversation without the difficulty I do have this difficulty, for example, to discuss about victims with my friends or at the dinner. It's impossible, because it's a dark subject, it's taboo. But if we have all gone to see The Tale and we come out and we are having dinner, I can talk about the subject, because we have all been to the movie and we have different opinions, and we can, as parents, remember, oh my God, did this happen in my life? Were there moments like this at home with my kids? Do I need to dig and understand if something terrible happened? You know, and also don't forget, this is awareness for you, for all of you, for later. You will become parents, you will have children. And I mean, I wished I knew these things when I was your age. I would have there are a lot of things I would not have done, and a lot of mistakes I would not have made. Believe me. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Are there any more questions from anyone else? You can ask anything, like your thoughts, any thoughts, concerns, questions.
Oh yeah, sure.
And if you have anything that you have thought of, feel free to share them as well. So it doesn't really even have to be like a question.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kat.
Hi, sorry to jump in again, but I've been wondering if you guys have heard of the National Child Stress Network. There was I'll drop a link of a PDF that I found like last year. Really good resource in my opinion. But this was, I found this was really well written, because it was sort of taking in mind what the perspective a child may have. So it not only boils it down for children, but also boiling down for people older than adolescents, what it may seem like, what it may look like. But unfortunately, there's, I think part of it is lacking taking into account internet, social media. There is brief parts about online bullying, but still looking for more. And I think that's only going to develop as we move forward, because there's so many things with, as you said, Balenciaga and Instagram itself. It's a very experimental stage, I think, of social media. So we'll have to get there, but yeah.
Yeah, we have to get there. Piano, we will get there, because what is in stake is the survival of internet itself. Because if internet continues being unsafe for children and for minors and for vulnerable population, it's the use of internet itself which will be forbidden by parents, forbidden by, so internet has to become safe or it will die. And it would be a pity, because it's a wonderful tool. At the same time, we can all talk together. We are in the four corners of the world. I think it's fantastic. It's only that part, the criminal part, that we have to. But thank you for the tip. I'll check that. I'll check it, and I absolutely, I will see what we can do with them. Absolutely, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for listening.
Of course, but I will, in the articles that I will send to Ada and to Phoebe, there are some articles. I wanted to make sure, and I just see that it is there. There are articles about victims of online grooming, And they, believe me, they are very interesting articles. You can have them printed and ask your parents to read them, because they are absolutely for, I mean, 15 years and above. And they, you know, the interest of case studies is that it is the life of somebody, and it brings the story here. You know, it's not something, it becomes tangible. You can think, oh my God, it could have been me or my friend or my child, or so it's interesting to read I like cases, because not only we go to court every day to deal with cases and help the defense of victims, but also because cases allow me to, you know, to see the picture, to see the space where things happen. And nothing is like a case study, nothing is like a movie that depicts that also. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I guess
Yeah.
one last question that I would have
Sure.
is that, you know, because last time when we were meeting, I think it was Friday, you also said that one of the people that got connected with you, one of the survivors, they actually reached out to you via social media. And I was
Facebook.
wondering that if we do see anyone needing help online, how are some ways that we can verify that they are someone who are needing help and that we should help them reach out to the resource that they need without putting ourselves into a dangerous situation?
Yeah, it's a very, very, very good question, Ada. Actually, if somebody is looking out for help and reaches out to you, saying that he or she is in danger, in my case, what happened is that from day 2, 3, we were exchanging on internet. I said, if you want me to help you, I have to talk to you. You know why? Because you cannot fake the voice nobody can fake your voice, Ada, because when you are your age, your face has a different intonation than mine. Nobody can be a man or be a girl without me discovering it. But she was hesitant to give me a number, of course. But it can be calling. You can say, I want to Zoom. I want to see you. And it can be your condition. You know, as we say on internet, we don't know if we talk with a dog or with a human being. And this is true for everybody. So I would personally insist on the fact that if ever somebody reached out to you asking for help or anything that you want to respond to, I would ask for a face-to-face look. When I'm talking to you today, I cannot be fake. I cannot be a man and fake my gestures or voice or words that I say. So this is the only, you can say, otherwise, I'm sorry, I can do nothing for you. If you are a real victim and you need help, I need to see your face or call you. But if he or she is far, you can do what we're doing now.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only way. You can, because you know, those who have bad intentions, we learn with cases we deal with that those who have bad intentions are experts in targeting victims, targeting others, you know, and they are aware of many things. They are organized. They have fake profile pictures. They have fake voice recordings. This is why you have to say, I want to see you talk to me, like now, right now, you know. This is the only way to do it.
Yep. Well, like leading from here though, first of all, thank you so much for your answer. But leading from here, as you know, technology advances and AI does all that, people may be easier to fake voices and things. How do you think this would like maybe change the way that nonprofits are and resources are helping these people in need than compared to what we're doing?
Well, I think that, again, beat the IE, today is the IE. I mean, everybody is totally excited about it, and I'm not against progress at all. But I know already now that one day, not far, we will regret that our leaders, that those who thought or claimed that they cared about our security and the security and safety of our children did not take stronger measures before introducing the IE with such a power into our lives. Because what you need to know is that today, I don't know if you have seen the documentary, again, something to watch. It's called Deep Fake. Deep Fake is wow, watch it. Watch it with your parents. Deep Fake is the beginning of IE, and it's already a whole world of criminality which is out there. And the problem with IE is that predators can use IE to produce images and videos of crimes, basically, and sell them and distribute them. So I think it is, I think like many other moments, all these phenomena have not been anticipated, and we will pay the price. Unfortunately, the leaders who decided or didn't pay enough attention or didn't put the safeguards to limit the power of these tools, they will be gone. They will no longer be governing, or maybe they are dead, but we, our children, will suffer from the backlash of these phenomena. That is for sure.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
You're welcome.
We'll definitely search up the documentary. Do you know where is it from? Because there's a lot of documentaries that has like a similar name.
Deep Fake, actually, it's a girl whom I knew who produced it. Wait, let me see. Deep Fake. I think it was on Deep Fake. Was it on internet? I think it was on Netflix. Let me see if I found it on Netflix. Okay, it's not this one. There is a lot of information on deepfakes. Actually, it's very interesting. But wait, I will do something else because I know the woman who produced it. Maybe if I put her name, it will come out. Okay, you can actually, she just did another one which just came out, and it has beautiful critics. It's called Another Body. Another Body. I don't know where you can watch it for the time being, but you can check it out. Another Body is follows a college student's search for answers and justice after she discovers deepfake pornography of herself circulating online.
Yeah, I found it.
You found it?
Mm-hmm. Not sure where to watch, but I found it.
Sorry?
I'm not sure where to watch, but I found it. So if you guys are interested, feel free to go search for it yourself for the people in this meeting. Yeah, I'm not sure where to watch it either, but actually Another Body, I'm sure you all are on Instagram. It has its own Instagram account, and maybe there they will announce where the movie will be seen. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sounds good. Thank you so much. You're welcome. So I think we have time for half a question. So if you have any short ones, please feel free to ask them right now. As always, we also have our Q&A tab open in the Google Classroom. So if you do have anything else that you just thought of, well, maybe doing anything other than attending the session, whenever you have any questions, please feel free to pop it inside the Q&A tab as well. And Phoebe, any other closing remarks for today's session?
Nope. Thank you everyone for coming. And then I know it's like very late for some people like Chloe. Yeah, thank you so much for being here, and yeah, see you guys tomorrow.
Well, yeah, okay, before we go, does everyone just mind, so if you don't have your camera on or if your camera isn't working right now, choose an emoji and we'll take a screenshot so that, you know, we're all good for attendance purposes. Done. Okay, thank you so much to everyone who joined. Thank you so much to Homera for presenting.
Thank
Tomorrow,
you.
yeah, tomorrow Future Unchained will be taking over for an introduction in human trafficking. Homera has kindly sent us some what was it called, case studies that we will be sharing throughout the session as well. So they will be released today evening, our time, Eastern time. So if you are interested, please take a read before the session so that we can just utilize our time tomorrow. But if you don't have time, we can also just read through them tomorrow. And yeah, thank you so much to everyone for joining today. Have a nice day. Or evening.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.